Well, hello everybody, and welcome. Welcome to another segment of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. I am so glad that you are here. I welcome you. Okay, wait a minute. That wasn't really good, was it? It is so dry in this studio. Losing my voice before I can even say hello. That's not going to happen. So let's do this. How about I do this? I always keep some water nearby just in case I need to take a swallow. That helped like tremendously. Did you hear the difference? I did. So, welcome aboard, fam. I want you to do the do. I want you to get your handheld and start sharing and letting everybody know we are on the air. We've got an amazing guest that was here several years back, and I am so glad when they come back. That means I have done something right. I'm starting to see the comments coming over, and I see that people are starting to watch, and I'm just so happy. Just come on in, take a seat, grab a seat. It's going to be a great, great, great conversation. Guess who's here? You know it is none other than Saxman Marqueal Jordan. He is here. He's in the green room. He's already smiling because I know he hears me talking about him. So I'm just going to bring him on and just let him tell me what that smile is all about. Hey, Marqueal.
Hey Sabrina, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm smiling because, first of all, your voice is amazing. So I'm just
Aw.
listening to your tones. It just sounds so good, and you're saying good things about me. So of course I got to smile. It's good stuff.
Yay. I love it. Welcome.
Absolutely.
Listen, welcome back. This is family for you.
Yes. Good to see
Yeah.
you again, and thank you for having me. Thank
It
you.
is
Really appreciate it.
always a pleasure having you here. And so next time, just come on, just call, just say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to come. I got something to say. Okay.
Okay.
It's like,
Got you.
okay, what you got? What you got?
Got you.
You
All
know.
right.
So
Got
this is always home for you.
you. All
So
right.
what's been happening though
Let,
with you?
I'm trying to remember. Did we talk first during the pandemic, or
I
was or after the pandemic, or before? And I'm trying to
think
remember. All these years have just kind of smashed together.
they have. I think it was April 2021.
Oh wow, yeah, okay, yep, that makes sense then.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, a lots has happened since then.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
so much stuff. In the last 3 years, so I went back to Brian Culbertson at the end of 2021. I finished my third record, which was my most important and my favorite record, in
Mm.
April of 2022. And just been kind of riding the waves with all of that. I just did 1 year basically with Brian. Excuse me. Now it's getting me. See,
It's like
it's crazy.
hopping from studio to studio, man. Like I totally, totally get that.
Yeah. So,
Look, he has such etiquette. He muted and cleared his voice, you guys. Now, see, you gotta love Marquell for doing that. And
oh
I
yeah.
just was like, excuse me, let me get some water.
Oh, you got all other things going on
Um,
there. I could do that real quick, but
I know, I
um,
saw you. How cool. How
yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
no, but to finish what I was saying, worked with Brian through 2022, and just basically have been trying to get things back to where they were before the pandemic, and then extend from there. And so far so good. It's always a journey. It never goes as fast as you would like, but the
Mm,
energy and the love that I get from everybody is evidence enough that something is working. So I
it
just got to
is.
remember that. I have to remember that.
So big, such a busy person. So, I mean, I know things kind of escape you, but what we're not going to let escape is that you went and got yourself married.
Yes, I did. I did. And the crazy thing about it, because all right, where we're shooting from, I
Yeah.
got pictures up here, and you can't see it
Oh,
with the glare, but
it's okay. Yeah, I saw it. I saw a
but
little.
but October 9th is my second wedding anniversary, so
Oh.
yeah. So I was glad we were able to get this in this week. So it's a good week for me, and it's my birthday month. Everything's cool. So,
Look
um,
at that.
yeah. But
Cause of
marriage has been great. I think the difference this time around, because this is my second marriage, I
got it. Got it.
and this is of no slight or disrespect to my first wife, because we're actually really cool, good friends. We've co-parented well, but because of how we met, I didn't know her as well as I thought I did, and she'd probably
Mm.
say the same thing about me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew my current wife now. I knew her really really well,
Good.
so I knew what I was getting into, and plus I'm a lot more older, and wiser, mature, can understand that things don't always go my way, and not pout about it. So,
Ah.
so it's good. It's good. It's real good. It's real good.
Ah, but I love your transparency concerning marriage. And, and one is just saying, hey, I'm older now.
Mm, yeah,
So that alludes to a little bit more maturity. Do you know what I'm saying? Um,
absolutely.
and then getting to know this time, um, this particular wife. And again, not slighting the first wife, but
Hmm.
I think love causes us to do things quickly and
Yeah,
sometimes without giving it full thought. But when you get older, you should get wiser.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the challenge with that though is because now that we are more seasoned, if you will,
I love that. I
it's
love that.
it's then it becomes that thing of, all right, you're taking too long now. Like, okay, you might be swinging to the other direction. You need to come back to the middle a little bit. So that was part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
and in retrospect, we probably could have gotten married a few years sooner than we did, but you know, God is the author of the real timing.
He
So,
is. Yeah,
so
better
just gotta
late than not at all. And
exactly.
so, congrats on that.
Thank you.
This is your month of great things, and I am just glad you're celebrating. You're still with us. We were just talking
Yeah.
back of house about some of the greats that we've lost along
Yes.
the way. One of them was Frankie Beverly,
Yes.
and he just, I can't see him as the older Frankie Beverly, like during
Right.
his last days. That
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
compute. I don't know if
No.
that, it doesn't sink in, it doesn't compute. I see him as this, um, although seasoned, he was vibrant, full of energy, full of life, and he was music. I don't care what anybody says. That
Yes.
guy reeked music, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think the reason why it's such a big loss is because he was such a part of the culture.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm. Right.
I mean, he was really like, there's a lot of times we can say an artist is ours, and we really have to kind of share that artist, whoever they may be, with the world.
Yeah.
Frankie and Mays were ours,
Mm.
unequivocally, unapologetically. Um,
Hours.
yeah, so we we love him deeper than we might love somebody else,
I
you
know.
know. And
Yeah.
and then the other part of it is why it's a huge loss is his music doesn't sound like anybody else's. It never did,
Mm.
and it always had the Mays sound. Which I mean, he wrote a lot of music. He played
Right.
guitar and piano, sang all the leads, obviously. So, of course, he had a band, and the band was as important as he was to for the vision. But what came from that one man was just so massive for the culture and for music, and it's yeah, it's we would hear in the business that Frankie probably wasn't doing any as well, like his health challenges and those things
Right.
that
Yeah.
people talk about behind the scenes, never talk
Hmm.
about in public.
Right.
So but you still don't get how can you prepare for something like
You
that? You know?
can't. You know, it comes as like a wave of unbelief. It's like,
Yeah.
it kind of takes your breath away. But he will forever be loved.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
and can't be duplicated, can't be replicated.
No. No.
And so we will just continue to, you know, go to barbecues and family outings and reunions and
Mm-hmm.
dance to his music to keep him alive. So
Yeah.
we love
Yeah.
him. We love him. And, it's so amazing that we're talking about, a vocalist because you sing as well. Don't smile. What are you smiling about? Hey, look at that. He's all
Yeah.
Chester cheese and everything.
Yeah. 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 But I mean, when you set it up like that, I can't help but smile. But thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, I've seen like snapshots. I've seen you not live yet,
Hmm.
but like YouTubes, and you just own that stage. Do you
Thank
think
you.
that's a skill learned, or is that within your fibers? Talk about that a little bit.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say it's 80% learned and 20% talent. Um,
Mm,
at least for me singing. And learning how to front a band and be the front person and be energetic and engaging and
sure.
try to, I mean, of course those are natural kind of skills. So if you are a magnetic person in general,
Yeah.
then it should help you if you perform or if you speak in front of people or if you act or if you have to do anything that involves you engaging your spirit to to other human beings.
Yeah.
um but you don't get up on stage like that and
Mm.
you're fully formed, so you got to it's
I
like
love how you
training.
said that.
You got to get your reps in, and for
Yeah.
me, I was a saxophone player for about, maybe 12 years, playing professionally maybe half of that time. When
Mhm.
I started singing, I always thought I had a good voice, but I never took myself seriously as a vocalist. I
Really?
just didn't. I thought I was a good mimic, and I didn't really think that I had a style per se. But I could appropriate this artist or that artist depending on who it was and to levels of success. But once I got on stage and started realizing what it took, and then
Mm,
feeling comfortable there, and then realizing that I actually do have a gift, it just it kept growing and growing. And
wow.
I don't think I would be as far along in my career if I didn't do both. I always say there's tons of saxophone players that are 10 times better than me. There's tons of singers that are 10 times better than me.
Oh,
But
you're
me
just,
doing both together,
yeah,
it's not too many people that can do it as well. And
right.
like I could step on stage and never sing and people would be happy, or I could step on stage without a saxophone and people would still be happy.
I don't know if I agree with that one, that last one. Because
Really?
see, because if I came to hear you perform
Right.
and that sax was not in your hand, man, we got to talk after the show
Okay. I
because
appreciate that.
you are an amazing musician. I mean, we're gonna look later on. We're gonna look at the premiere, but just looking at that performance when you're on stage live, you're like in a whole totally different element, Marquel. I mean,
Yes.
a whole
Yes.
different level, world, whatever sphere. I don't know. you
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and I can feel what you're feeling as you're playing. That's not easy to do if you're
Hmm.
just kind of out there doing the thing.
Yeah.
But when it's like becoming one with your sax, and
Right.
I totally get that vibe. Before we go to break, we're right on time.
Thank you.
We're probably going to be a few minutes over, but I wanted to talk about the the other voice, which is the sax. And I might need to go on and just go to break because this is going to take us way, way over. But see,
Okay, cool.
there's two parts to this. So it's the singing and the sax. So I think what I want to do is I want to approach this after the break.
Sure.
So and then just let you just have
Okay.
at it, right? Right.
That'll work.
So
That'll work.
hang out, and we'll be right back with you in just a moment. I see you guys are coming in and you are sharing. I thank you so much for that. I hope you're enjoying so far the conversation. It's always cool chatting with Marqueal. Such a gem. And I appreciate him coming back because I'll be shutting down at least the second week. I don't know about the third week of November. So I can regroup and have some brain. I won't say that. So I can think of some other things. I was going to say brain farts. Is that bad? Okay. So, but anywho, I want to go back and come again for 2025, bring you some great stuff, some more amazing artists for 2025. So I got to go and recalibrate. I think that's the best word that I could use. Yes. So if you're thinking about coming on the show, I have one date left, and that is November 4th. All of my other spots are gone in case I decide to do that third Monday in November. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about it. But in any event, we're going to have a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation that we were having with our special guest tonight, Marqueal Jordan, on Unsigned Artistry Veil Worldwide. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that include interviews on Unsigned Artistryville Worldwide, as well as campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Soul R&B artist Selena Albright says, "I believe in the Platinum Agencies and the amazing things it will continue to do for independent artists in the future. Not only does Sabrina Taylor have an ear for the best-kept secrets in the music industry, but in a market where independently made music tends to be greatly overshadowed, her platform offers a unique opportunity for all artists to be heard. Some of my favorite interviews of my career have been with Sabrina Taylor. She really knows how to ask the right questions to capture the hidden story behind the music that fans want to hear. And I've always been so moved by her ability to pair her original imagery to my music whenever I visit her platform." Soul jazz artist Cherie Patrice says, "UAR is a great platform and source for indie artists to promote, expound, and extend their brand. You can always count on UAR to capture the essence, the heart, and the soul of an indie artist within its presentation. I always feel welcomed, celebrated, and in good hands with its CEO and founder, Sabrina Taylor, who puts her grand touch of elegance and excellence on every artist she comes in contact with. I highly endorse the UAR Worldwide experience. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at tpatheplatinum.agencies.com. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. So glad that you are here. Comments are still coming in. People are still coming in, going out, coming in, going out. And I totally, totally get that. We've got a great artist tonight. His name is Marqueal Jordan. He is here visiting us for the second time. Loving on that, loving that. Marqueal, I wanted to continue the great conversation. I hate to break it up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get back into the swing, man. So we were talking about, the voice that you have, which I really truly enjoy, your vocal performance.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of voices, uh, I do, and I don't know if all the sax players do refer to their saxes as voices because
Mm-hmm.
there are several styles. So Want to talk a little bit about the voice that you use predominantly? Is that
Hmm.
the tenor sax
Yes,
for you?
tenor saxophone. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you choose to, you know, let that be like your major voice?
Uh, Lock, stock, and barrel, first, last, and always. John Coltrane.
Ah,
Um, so I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of that music that my father exposed me to when I was a kid.
mm,
You know, he had great record collection, still has a great record collection,
wow.
and you know, my parents exposed us to all of that music, and for whatever reason, that sound and that energy, like maybe I didn't understand it at the time, was probably too young to really grasp it, but
Sure.
it got into me, and you know, and a lot of it too had to do with me wanting to be as cool as my father is or was at that
I
time,
love that.
you know, and he was really into that. He was really into jazz, really into music. So I wanted to be like Pops. So those are the things that kind of steered me towards the tenor saxophone. That sound, and it is my sound. I play all the other saxophones in decreasing order. So like I've been playing soprano a little bit more lately on live shows. Uh,
Oh,
I play baritone saxophone with a blues band in Chicago every couple of weeks. And then I'm starting to play a little more alto here and there around town here locally. But tenor is my voice. It just is. I mean, Kirk Whalum said it too. He's like, yeah, we were talking about saxophones and saxophone players. He's like, yeah, like tenor, that's your voice. That's it. I was like, hey,
yeah.
if he said it, this is true. I'm gonna keep it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, like for Kenny G, the soprano sax is just he's known for that. That
Yeah.
is his voice, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I totally get that. I totally
Mhm.
get that. And the reason that I wanted to combine the two is because I wanted to share. Of course, you've already seen this, but you've been referred to as a dual threat. You know where I'm going, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. But you really are. And I want to read this to those who may not have seen it. It's definitely on your website. And it says Marqueal Jordan is one of the few people who have the ability to play like Coltrane and sing like Marvin. I don't even need to say his last name because you already know who Marvin is, right? Right. His live performances transcend genres. He's a true dual threat. How do you feel? And there's more, but I want them to go on your website. Go to the hub, marqueljordan.com, and then you can scroll and find that. But how do you feel when you hear that? You're a dual threat.
Um, I feel good. I actually feel blessed, and I also feel like it's a responsibility. Like, you know, I think the older I get, the more I'm aware of what this lifestyle and the wear and tear of it does.
Yeah.
So, you know, and this is usually the worst time of year for me when the seasons change from summer to fall, and then from winter to spring. As I get seasonal allergies, I'm an asthmatic, and
Oh,
all of that stuff affects my singing voice, and it affects my breath control and how strong of a breath I could have to play
ah,
saxophone. So
got it. Yeah.
it's always something that just kind of, when I get to this time of year, it's like, okay, let's try to get through to the winter and not get sick, not get a cold, not do this, you know. So I just have to make sure that I'm, even when I'm not at my best, that my focus and my passion towards what I'm doing is important. And I have the equal amount of passion for both.
Hmm.
Um, you know, the singing side of me kind of gloats at the saxophone player side of me, and my saxophone player side, you know, gets jealous of the singer side because
I love that.
it's a weird thing because people respond to the human voice so much
Yeah.
that you know, it's the thing that, you know, people say it and I know they mean it all as a compliment, but it's like,
I
oh
know.
man, you should sing more, you should put out a record with just singing on it. I'm just like, yeah, but I play saxophone too. So it's always like trying to find that good balance for myself. For everybody
Sure.
else, it's all good, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm able to do both. Like I was saying, that's what makes me unique. That I can do both.
You can do both.
Mhm.
And there was a question by Rose Lady, and I do want to put
Hey,
some
Rose Lady.
yeah, she's live and in color here tonight.
Yeah.
Glad to have you on, Rose Lady. Um, and I call her sister, but y'all call her Rose Lady.
Hmm.
And it's amazing though, you were talking about, of the two, what your fave is, because, not only do you sing, not only do you play sax, but you're also a producer, yes?
Yeah. Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, yeah. Have you produced a number of people, or is it more so for yourself,
It's more so for myself,
mhm,
and in collaboration with
others? Yeah,
some of the artists that I work with and been working with for years.
yeah.
We I guess we co-produce each other, and then the
Oh,
producers that I've used over the years. I think the reason why it works so well is that they allow me to put my voice into what it is that they presented to me.
sure.
So it sounds more like me as opposed to, oh, this is a such and such production with this guy playing on top of it.
Right, right.
And it's something that like that skill. Admittedly, I could get a lot better at, but I still know how to do it. But it's the level of just trying to perfect all of what I'm doing. I think where I am at this point as an artist is I know there's one thing that I can always hang my hat on when it comes to performing or when it comes to um, making a song or putting out a single. And I think that my emotion and passion just comes through no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And
I
I think
agree.
that's the one thing that I'm most proud of. I'd like to get some other technical aspects into that part of it, but I know that the passion is going to always be there, and I can hang my hat on that.
And we love that it just oozes out of you on stage. That's wonderful. Before I forget to mention, Rose Lady did have a question.
Hmm.
Um, she said she was asking and inquiring, which sax were you using in Chicago when she came?
If I remember correctly, I think Rose Lady came to the Nothing But the Sax show
Mm-hmm.
with myself, and shout outs to my brothers D. Lucas and Tony Exum Jr. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was playing tenor. I think I was
Tenor.
playing tenor saxophone that night.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, that to me is that's my fave. That's what I love to hear you play.
Hmm.
Is a tenor sax. It's so it goes. It's like it's pulling from the depths of you. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's so warm and it's sultry and it grabs the attention unlike any other saxophone. I mean, yes, the soprano is sweet and it's melodic and it takes you to a place. The alto, to me, it's like it drives.
Hmm.
It's a warm summer day,
Yeah.
driving across a causeway, or do you know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
having a good time. You got your buddy, your friend, your significant other, whoever it is on the other side of you. Having a happy good time.
Right.
That tenor, hmm,
Yeah.
it speaks volume, and I really, really love it. I do.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, And there was also another question, which I kind of want to tie into where I'm going, because um, I didn't start the normal way that I would do. Like, okay, so talk about your childhood. And,
Right.
because you've been here, and I don't know that everybody has seen the 2021 interview that I did with you,
Hmm.
but we know BC. Okay, Brian Culbertson, and I've had a couple people refer to him as BC. Like
Right.
yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, that was kind of like your big break,
Yes.
touring with him. And I'm tying that into this next question from Sheila. Hey, Sugar, how are you? She says, when did you start your musical career? Would you say that was the biggest point, but then you were already in music before you got connected with Brian, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gotten that opportunity and been ready for it had I not been doing
Right.
the work prior to that. And the
Already
work,
prepared.
yeah, the work prior to that was, I think, like a 13-year odyssey in Chicago.
Whoa.
You know,
Okay. That long. Okay.
yeah, oh, it was a long time, and and that doesn't count my formative years in college. I mean, I've been playing professional, and by definition, that's I stand somewhere to perform and someone gives me money to do that. I've been doing that since I was 18. So to varying degrees of success and ability, but professional since 18. So I moved to Chicago after I graduated college, and it took me more than 4 years to graduate college. So when I moved to Chicago, I was still pretty green, I would say. Um, Musically, and looking back on it now, just life. So when I moved to Chicago, I moved here knowing that a good friend of mine that I was in a band and in a jazz band at the university was moving up here, or I'd already moved here, and I knew we could do music together. So there was kind of a plan in place,
Huh.
somewhat. But we played in two original bands. We did original music. We put out our own self-produced CDs that really went nowhere. I mean, we had a local following, so we did all of that stuff. And then I got married, and I was all this entire time I was working a day job, but still
Wow.
playing and really kind of what we call a quote unquote weekend warrior. So I was, working during the day, maybe have a couple of gigs during the week on a real busy week, but mostly playing on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday nights. Um, and that Sunday night experience really, really, really helped me hone my vocal and performing skills and my presentation, so that by the time I was laid off from my job at the tail end of 2007,
Hmm.
um, Chris Miskell, drummer for Brian Culbertson, a good friend of mine who also lives in Chicago, basically badgered him into listening to me, um, and giving me a shot for the saxophone chair in 2008, early 2008. So that was the point where we got here, and then it just kind of took off because
Yeah.
that was my national exposure, and people were able to see what I do and what I've been doing in Chicago for years, but on a much higher level.
Of course. Yeah.
But so I would say 16 years ago, 2008 is when my career really went
Really.
to another place.
Yeah. 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 That's so amazing.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I love Rose Lady. She's like fan PR, you
She
know.
is, yeah.
She said she thinks the biggest breakout was when he was a rising star at Seabreeze. I
Oh,
remember. I remember that.
that was so bittersweet. If you're
Mhm.
saying April 2021,
Yep.
that was either right before or right after I
Right.
got back from
That's what I
Seabreeze.
mean. I saw that.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was so proud of you. I was like, look at him fly, soar, man. He's like, shh.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a good look. That
yeah.
was, and the thing that was frustrating about it, for a variety, well, for two reasons. The opportunity was incredible, obviously,
Of course.
and thank the promoters at Seabreeze and the fan base who knew me from Culbertson all
Yeah.
those years, for embracing me. But it rained that day, so it rained
Ooh.
at the beginning, and of course, at that point, in 2021, it was just coming back from the pandemic, and the
Ah,
unsigned, I mean, that Rising Star
of course.
slot was the first slot during the day. It's different now. Um, so
Yeah.
it was just like, oh man, it's raining. And people, by 2:30, sun was out, place was packed, but it was a great show. It was a good time. It went over well. But the other frustrating part about it was that was supposed to happen in 2020, and I
Mhm.
had a whole lot of momentum leading into that infamous date, March 13th, 2020, when the whole world changed. So
Yeah.
I had done the Capitol Jazz cruise, um, sold all my CDs, which had never happened before. It was just like the momentum was just really building, and 2020 was going to be this amazing year,
Yeah.
and the whole world changed. So, picking up the pieces from that, I was very happy that they pretty much just moved my slot to the following year when I was able to do it. So, I mean, the one and only time that I played at Seabreeze as an artist, as a performing solo artist, was
Mm-hmm.
that slot. So it was a big deal. It is a big deal
It
still to this
still
day.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? I know. I know. And from, going through the experience of touring Brian Culbertson and being on Seabreeze, and this momentum is going and people are
Hmm.
getting to know who you are. Talk about, quickly before we go to the last break, talk
Hmm.
about what you learned in these opportunities.
Oh, I learned a lot. I think the biggest thing, I'll try to do it in steps, and I get long winded, so just bear
It's
with me.
okay. It's okay.
Um, but I think the biggest thing for a working local musician trying to break through to the other level is there seems to be like this shroud of mystery to how do
Mm,
you get there and
yep.
what do they do when they get there. Oh, like it's this big thing. and
Mystery. Yeah.
and what I realized is
Hmm.
a lot of it is the same. um a whole lot of it is the same. It's just music, and if you prepare, you're
Yeah.
gonna put on a kick-ass show no matter
Yes,
what.
you are. Yes, you are.
um you're even more apt to have a great show because people are paying top dollar to come and see you. um
Hmm.
so that
Hmm.
was what the one of the biggest differences are. That was that
Right.
we had, especially with Brian. um those were captivated audiences who were coming to hang on every note, every word, every movement, everything.
That's
So,
right.
you have to meet that level every night. So watching him, watching
Mm.
how he engaged with the audience, watching
Hmm.
how he engaged with the band, how he put his shows together, the musicians he picked, even, and this was like a big learning curve for me, or not curve, but just a big nugget that I learned um, after the show, because I got to
Right.
sit with him when he signed CDs, because I was selling CDs and signing as well. One of the biggest perks, and I must give a shout out to Brian for that, because there aren't too many artists that would share their platform for somebody in their band to sell their own music,
Yep.
make money that could potentially be going to them. Like, it's
Correct.
a huge selfless thing that he did for me. So I really appreciate that. Um, but just how he engaged with his fan base all the time. It didn't
Mm.
matter if he was tired. It didn't matter if he was annoyed. It didn't matter if whatever the case was. Always gracious to his fans. Always shook
Love
all of his
that.
fans' hands, took pictures, hugged babies, all this stuff. He did all the things. So
Sounds like a politician.
yeah, but that was the lesson though. He
Yeah,
served
no.
his
Yes.
fan base. He served his customers.
Right.
And that's the thing that I really try to take with me, putting on a good show,
Hmm.
giving all the energy, and engaging with the fan base. So those things are priceless, and you really only learn that by working with a great artist, or an
That
artist
is
with a great following, and just kind of peeping game, or asking questions as they come up.
well. Whew. I mean, uh, so much favor there,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and I am so proud to see you. I mean, and your longevity is still there. There's
Yes.
such things as overnight and one night wonders, and
Hmm.
that's not said of you because you say Marqueal Jordan, where, when, you know, I'm going, I'm gonna
Thank
be
you.
there, I'm
Thank
in
you.
the house, and when I was promoting you. Oh wow, I can't wait. It might have been Sheila. I don't know if it was her twin or if it was her. She's like,
Hmm.
"Oh yay!" People are truly happy to see you in any capacity, whether on stage, in front of a camera. They love you, and that speaks
Well,
volume, Markwell.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more break.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I know, right? And
It's
then
going so
it's
fast.
like, it's just going
You're right. They did the last time too. See,
to.
it's great to talk to you.
Oh, I know. Always is. Always is. Hang on, and I promise you it's not going to be very long this time.
Uh,
Oh, but we're going to take this last break of the night. I'm truly enjoying it. Comments are still coming up, and I appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to us talk clinic and walking through the journey of Marqueal Jordan in bits and pieces. This is such great dialogue that we're having with him tonight. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more from Marqueal Jordan on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Hey guys, welcome back to the last 15 minutes. Oh, I can't believe it. Can you, Marquel? I know I can't.
no, I can't. It
It's
just
just
goes so fast.
I know. I know. But then that means I gotta talk quick because we got music to listen to. Oh
Right.
wow. I do though want to touch on your label.
Hmm.
October 23rd music. Now explain that. I mean, that's cool. I love that. When I saw that, I thought, oh, that's the coolest thing. So how'd you come up with the name for your label?
Real simple. It's my birthday.
Ah,
Yeah. Um, and
cool.
I was trying to think. I was trying to think of something that no one else would have when I signed up for the publishing company. First
Oh,
off, because October 23rd Music is my publishing company with ASCAP, and
gotcha.
so it started there, and then in turn I named the label the same thing. So
Look at you.
yeah,
I love it. So on that label, are all of your LPs recorded on that label
yes, or released under an
or
imprint. I
released on?
mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, it's very mom and pop as most independent artists are, obviously. But yes, my three solo albums are all released under October 23rd Music.
yeah.
I have the masters,
Isn't that a
so
blessing? Oh gosh.
exactly, and so the music belongs to me. I even with my latest record, I instead of going through one of the distribution companies because they were really kind of phasing out of doing CD distribution because not many people use them anymore. Um, but when I shipped CDs, I was shipping them. I was sending them out. So if you're looking to get um, my first or my last two CDs, um, the only places you can get them are at my website. You just got to click on the link, and then I'm mailing it to you. I'm the one putting the stamp on the joint and sending it
Look at
out.
you.
So
Oh wow.
just do everything. I think as musicians and artists these days, whether we want to or whether we like it or not, we have to be hands on every aspect of the business. And I'm still learning a lot. I
I'm
don't
sure.
clearly don't know it all, and trying to figure it out and getting better as we go along. But yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, of the three, I read somewhere that intention and purpose, and I love that
Yes.
project.
Hmm.
Um, it kind of gave birth to a couple of Billboard charting singles. Love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 It was I had three singles on that record, and the first one I really thought was gonna do very well, and so I was slightly disappointed when it didn't.
I understand.
But the
Yeah.
next two, the second single was one that was really kind of against the grain when I was talking to Bud Harnum, my radio programmer,
Mm-hmm.
or promoter rather.
Promoter,
You
yeah.
know, because in the smooth jazz, there's a certain format, and they want things to be in a
Right.
certain tempo,
Sure.
and ballads don't necessarily work. But I've been performing, if you only knew, in my shows, and the people really responded very well to the melody and all of those things. So I was like, let's try it. Let's just put it out. And that one went to number 13. It was the most successful single at that point for me. And then the
Mhm.
other one that I released after that was co-produced with my man Frank McComb. Shout out to that brother.
Of course it was. Yeah.
And that one went to number 17 on Billboard. So
Yeah.
that record did really, really well. And you know, that last single happened during the pandemic, or the start of the pandemic, and
Mhm. Mhm.
still was heard, and people still got into it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All we have are moments. I love
Yes.
that CD.
Thank you.
'Cause Last Call was on that, right?
Yeah, I did a
Mhm.
live version of it, or a studio version of it, with my band. Because we released it as a single. Shout out to my longtime collaborator and producer, Chris Big Dog Davis, who
Of course.
I
Yeah.
really owe the success of my solo career, a lot of it, to him, because it's a lot of his music and his vision, and us being able to partner together and do our thing. But we did Last Call as a single, and it came out like a year before the record did. So I wanted to include it in All We Have Are Moments, but I didn't want to include the same version. So we went in the studio and cut a live version of it.
Oh,
It's
look at
pretty
you.
dope too.
Yeah,
Pretty dope.
yeah. Wow. Wow. And that song has done very well on Sirius XM Watercolors as
Yeah.
well. It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's really, really a great song.
Yeah.
And so it brings me to the song we're going to premiere tonight, Mahogany. That's also on that same album, yes?
Yes. It
Yeah.
was the last single that I released. So it was released some time ago. But but yeah, it's a special one. It was the hardest song for me to finish and complete, because it was
Yeah.
really a mood and a feeling and an emotion that I was trying to get across on
Yeah.
that song. And I was working for the first time with a great producer, and keyboardist. And this is how dope this dude is. He tours with both Eric Benet and now I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God, how could I do this? Man, that is bad. That's really bad. Boney James. So he
Ah,
tours with Eric Benet and Boney James, and he does his own stuff. Incredible. His name is Jonathan Richmond, and
okay.
he sent me a bunch of songs, and this song just really stood out. And it was like, I got to get this right. I got to get the second half of this song right, and
Yeah.
it took a long time. But once we got it right, we
You
got it
got
right.
it right. You
We
sure
got it right.
did,
We
man.
got it right.
I love the performance that we're getting ready to watch of Mahogany. I think it's kind of overshadowing my other fave, which was Last Call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving just the stage presence that you have with the song. You guys are going to see it in just a moment. Our premiere for the night is Mahogany. I love this song, and I want you guys to fall in love with it as well. So enjoy, of course, the emojis, the hearts. Do what you will, but definitely, definitely share your feedback in the chat, and we'll talk about it as soon as we get back. Okay? Enjoy Mahogany by our special guest, Marqueal Jordan.
You know, we gotta check with you every once in a while. Put your hands together for my frat brother, actually, D. Lucas, y'all. Hear that. Name of the song is called Mahogany.
That was Mahogany, everybody, by our special guest, Marqueal Jordan. There are so many comments. I'm telling you, I see hearts, I see flames. People are cheering you on. You've got to go back in there and look at some of those comments. You are amazing to watch on stage. And I think that's what Rose Lady was sharing in the comments. You got to see him live. Yeah, that's what she's saying. I'm telling you, it's nothing like seeing him perform in person. You feel the energy. I felt it off of just YouTube. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like when I get to sit down at a city winery or wherever, it may be.
Yeah.
Spaghettinis, you never know. I may come out in LA.
April 13th. I'm giving you a heads up. We're going to be there again. April 13th.
April
Next year.
13th.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I want to be there. I've seen and heard so much about the performances at Spaghettini's. It's like they're special all within themselves, and then you have a special artist, and so that just makes it doubly special.
Yes, absolutely.
So
it's a vibe there for sure.
It is it totally is a vibe.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So what's happening with Marqueal Jordan these days? What do we expect coming from him?
Definitely some new music coming out. I've done a lot of collaborations this year. I've worked with Chris Big Dog Davis on his record.
Mm-hmm.
Worked with this an amazing vocalist by the name of Geneva Renee. We put out a real sexy song that I was featured on called Your Tender Kiss. That was this summer. One of my homies here, one greatest soul singers ever, I'm saying that and I'm standing on it. It's his name is Slick J Adams. Um,
Okay.
I did some horn arrangements for him and it was featured on one of his songs. And then there's a song that's on Showcase Taylor's new record that just came out. Also a song that's on keyboardist Daniel Weatherspoon, an amazing keyboardist.
Oh,
And
absolutely he is.
yes,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a nice song called Route One that's going to be
I,
coming
I
out.
know about that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
heard me
yeah.
going crazy over. I was like, "Is that you?"
Yes, yes, yes,
That
yes.
brother is an amazing keyboardist. I mean,
Hmm.
just oh, okay. Go
He's
ahead.
great.
Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
so for my birthday, collaborator, birthday twin, my brother, DJ INC, on our birthday, October 23rd, we're putting out a single that's called I Need Creativity. It's a nice instrumental jam that you guys are going to love. And then, of course, working on my next record. I'm going to reveal the title soon. I'm not going to say it yet. I got to set that up a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe I'll come back and talk to you about that
You
when the
better.
time gets come that
I'm gonna be looking
comes.
for you.
Yeah,
Um, and so we are loving the energy. We're
yeah,
loving what you bring to the smooth jazz culture.
yes.
Period.
Thank
I
you.
mean, absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you want people to walk away with after hearing your music, Marco?
Um, some sense of emotion and release.
Mm,
If you're having a tension filled or a frustrating day, if
yeah.
you put my music on or come to a show, I want you to feel uplifted or like your
Um,
burdens were gone for at least an hour and a half. The time that the
yeah.
music was up there.
Yeah.
I want you to connect to the emotion of what I'm presenting as an artist and to the music. Because if it's moving me, I think 9 times out of 10 is going to move the people in the audience,
Correct.
and just
Correct.
just to feel good. Really, ultimately, I would like for the music to help you feel good and help you feel inspired to do what it is that you want to do, even either in that moment or somewhere down the road or in your life.
Right. Right. So, tours,
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I've got a few shows coming up.
the T
Uh,
word. Yeah.
yes, really, really good friend of mine, and also co-member in Culbertson's band. He's still in Culbertson's band. Talking about the legendary Patches Stewart, trumpet player.
Got
Um,
it.
we're doing a show in Atlanta on November 7th at St. James Live. Love that place.
Ooh.
Shout out to my man Wes Bird. And we're also doing that same show in City Winery in Chicago the Monday before Thanksgiving, November 25th. And, shout out to my booking agent, Yusef Harris, who was on the chat.
He is.
Yeah, that's my man. He's, we're taking dates for 2025 and we're going to be really, really doing our thing in a big, big way, you know.
Oh, wow, we cannot wait. So make sure you guys visit marquealjordan.com. That's the hub. You'll have everything synced there, all the
Yes.
dates. Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
I do. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Everything's up. I think there's maybe one date I need to add. Uh, but
I'm so proud of you because it's like, I got someone said, I got to update that. No.
yes, yes, yes. It's one date I need to add. So everything is in there, but
Ah,
there's one date I need to put on. But
cool dates.
on the Smooth Jazz Cruise again in 2025.
Look at
Um,
you.
yeah, just good things happening, and I do feel the energy from the people, from the
Mhm.
fans, friends. You know, it it's life affirming, and it just lets
Mhm.
me know that I'm really going in the right direction. I think on the next project we're going to be stretching a little bit, doing some different things, some different styles, but it's all me. So if you've rocked with me to this point, you'll continue to rock with me. I promise you
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have thoroughly enjoyed you tonight. We are looking forward to what's to come. And again, I want everybody to connect with him. We've got his socials that are scrolling at the bottom. Go to his hub. Stay connected because you
Yes.
don't want to miss anything that this brother has coming out.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Oh, I'm
party.
bugging. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of things as they come along. St.
Go right
Louis.
ahead.
St. Louis. I'm
Louis.
I'm I'm playing a it's actually a free show. It's a wine and food festival this Sunday, October 13th. And it's
What?
at 1 in the afternoon. It's wine and food tasting. It's gonna be a great
Man,
time.
I
Great
wish I
time.
was in St. Louis this
That's a,
weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could drive down, can't you? You want to get flued in. Let me
I
fly you in.
am so glad you knew what that look was about. Flew me in, man. Flew me in. Oh Lord. Now I'll
That's
drive
funny.
5 hours, which that's like Atlanta from
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Hmm. But St. Louis,
Yeah, I could dig it. I could
you
dig
got that?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
get
think
it.
you understand.
I do.
Yeah.
I do understand.
Oh, but
Yes.
again, thank you, Marquel, for coming back, sharing with us, kicking it, for about an hour or so, and
Thank you.
um, letting everybody in on what's to come. They're not going to miss any of the goodies. Christmas music. Are you going to do anything for Christmas?
No, I pretty
No.
much usually what winds up happening in December is I do a lot of private parties and things of that nature
Of
in Chicago and kind of
course.
really get ready for the new year.
Mhm.
Because we rehearse for the Smooth Jazz Cruise in January, and then we go out in February, and that's labor intensive. It's a gang
Sure.
of fun, but it's something that I have to prepare for. So,
Wow.
so yeah, no Christmas tours yet. I'm
Well,
sure that that will happen at some point in the future.
of course. Of course it will.
Yeah,
Of course it will. Well, we are thoroughly full, and we're just loving everything about you. Comments are like still coming in.
I love it.
Colleen Keithley, she says, I'm connected to Markwell. I know,
Yes,
right? I
thank you, Colleen.
appreciate that. Sheila, great interview. Rose Lady, she was saying, what? Okay, Sheila, you might want to go visit him. Go visit twin. Oh, I gotcha. Gotcha. I mean, I totally agree. We need to see you live, and those of us who have not, we're missing out on something. But I need to make it my business to go and come and see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You
and
said
I'll
April. What? Look, you said April. What?
April 13th. April 13th. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Seal Beach / Los Angeles, California. Yes.
Oh, look at you. Okay. Hmm. I'm
Yeah.
not just writing to be writing. And you know what?
Gotcha.
And I had to tell another artist because I said, I am there, and then work got in the way. Well, work is about to just. So I am about
Okay.
to start doing the things that I really love to do, and that's what weekends are for.
Absolutely.
Like after 5 days, and you can attest to this. You work full time.
Hmm.
At the end of a week, you just want to veg out and sleep, but
Yeah.
I don't have time to veg out. I want to get out there and see what the smooth jazz genre have to offer
Oh, it's
on a
so
live
many great
tip.
guys.
Of
Yes.
course,
There's
yeah.
so many great artists, and from some who are just starting out, some who've been veterans in the game doing it on an independent level. Yes, Rose Lady. If you go to St. James in Atlanta, you're guaranteed to see a great show every time. All of the artists that
I'm
Wes Bird
sure.
brings in, that he curates, they're all amazing. And you know, he doesn't just give. They don't just have us in there like cats at
Of course.
unsigned or but
Hmm.
he's had Marcus Miller there. He's had Gerald Albright there. Like they've
Whoa.
all done these Thursday night shows as well. It's ridiculous, and it's an African American owned establishment. It's super dope, super dope. Great stage, great lights, great sound engineer.
Ooh.
Drinks are nice. It's all good. It's just a good time. I can't speak. I can't say too many good things about St. James Live.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to play.
Sheila says he's had everybody, and literally that's how she typed it. He said everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, well, again, I am just grateful. and honored to have had you on the platform. And we just thank you for spending time with us. And everybody, I do appreciate you guys coming on. Listen, we've got more coming. Don't sleep on us because I'm pretty much booked for the rest of the time that I'm going to be on.
Mhm.
And so you don't want to miss next week. I promise you, you don't want to do that. But listen, everybody, thank you. Remember what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. I love all of y'all with everything that I have. Don't you go away, Marquel, because I want to disconnect after the show is over.
Okay.
I got some credits that I want to run. So you hang out. And everybody, thank you again for coming on. And we'll see you again on next week. All right. Take care.